Welcome back everybody to another episode of Sneaker Updates. This will be Sneaker Updates number 111. If you guys happen to be new here, you can feel free to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you're always 100% updated on every hype sneaker. Essentially, in this series we go over sneakers that received updates throughout the week. For example, some of those may potentially include some Jordans, Yeezys, Dunks, and more. But with that short intro out of the way, why don't we jump right into the first update. Kicking it off, let's discuss the Jordan 1 UNC Toe, one of the most anticipated sneakers of the entire summer. Retail is $180 for men, $140 for grade school, and contrary to most recent Jordan 1s, I would expect these to be profitable with a decent margin, especially in large sizes, but nothing crazy. UNC colorways in general tend to garner a significant amount of demand, and this far out from the release, we're already seeing really impressive demand and sale volume. Initially, these were supposed to see a release date on July 8th, but now their official date appears to have been pushed to July 22nd for all retailers. However, we were actually supposed to get an early release for these through a shock drop. Yes, the rumors you guys saw actually do have validity to them. Not only that, but it was supposed to be less than a week from now, and it very well still might. However, Nike is obviously aware of all the online talk about this, and based off of some of the recent chess maneuvers they have pulled ever since the LeBron 7 shock drop, this might be another bait and switch. As of now, the date is still set for less than a week from now, but I think there's a possibility they might change this, and I'll explain why. If you guys recall, the LeBron 7s were the first shock drop in a long time where Nike actually intentionally loaded false information on a public endpoint that many people were monitoring and getting their quote-unquote early info from. So when they did this, all the accounts started saying shock drop has been pushed to tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. But real sources, on the other hand, who don't rely on endpoints, obviously knew what was going on still. That's why you saw Endurance post still 10 a.m. Eastern time, not 12 p.m., regardless of what the endpoints were showing. And sure enough, that's precisely what ended up happening, resulting in all those Twitter accounts that got baited deleting their tweets. And this was the beginning of a new era of Nike shock drops, because they have been doing this for a few times now. For example, the Jordan 3 white cement shock drop on the Jordan Reserve with those Jordan 5 UNCs at a time loaded for 4 p.m. Again, Endurance knew this was inaccurate information and posted the real time. My point here is that these endpoints cannot be fully trusted anymore, guys. Only the real source can. So again, there is a date set for less than a week from now, but take it with a grain of salt. It's also possible they keep the date like they did with the white cements and just mess with the time. Either way though, this shock drop is real, but take the rumors you see with a grain of salt regarding precise dates as we do get closer. As always, if you guys want early information from the real source, Endurance will always have your back, as we always have since 2018. Endurance does not rely on these endpoints, and that's why regardless of what public sources say, the info in here is always accurate. If you guys are interested in joining, you can with the link in the description below. I do want to encourage you guys to join for more reasons than just shock drop info though, because we do offer much more than that too, such as custom in-house monitors to catch restocks on profitable items that you never see on Twitter. Not to mention our focus on numerous other profitable markets even outside of sneakers to expand your horizons as a reseller, which is more important now than ever if you ask me. So again, if you're interested, feel free to join with the link in the description below. As for the stock on these Jordan 1 UNC Toes, it is very high, and that is why despite the high demand I expect, I'm still not expecting a crazy margin on these. I don't have the precise stock just yet, unfortunately, but I will when I make the Head of Cop guide, so just make sure to subscribe and enable post notifications for that. The current rumors are for 400,000 and 600,000. I'm pretty confident that the 400,000 number is far more accurate, but again, I don't have the precise number myself yet. Regardless, it's a big number, and a lot of those would be allocated to the shock drop. So you should hopefully have a good chance at grabbing a pair, hopefully your personal size, because let's be honest, these are beautiful. If you guys can't join Endurance, I would recommend following my Twitter, KeithAdam10, because I do prepare the tweets in advance to ensure they're always sent the fastest as soon as the shock drops do go live. With those out of the way though, now moving on to some other Jordan updates. First, we got a mock-up of the upcoming A Ma Maniére Jordan 17 Low Beach, which will be dropping in 2024. If the Jordan 2 Manières bricked, I'd imagine these probably would too, unfortunately. But next up, we have some incredible news. The Jordan 4 Military Blue will finally be making its return for the first time since 2012 in May 2024 for $210. This pair will also have the Nike Air on the back, contrary to the 2012 pair. Now, believe it or not, the 2012 pair actually used to be a brick back in the day. I don't expect that to be the case at all for these though, given the rise of demand for UNC colorways and Jordan 4s in general, not to mention that Nike Air on the back only helps. I would expect these to be profitable with a good margin. Not only that, but we need personals for these. Moving on, we got an on-foot look at the Jordan 4 Craft and Medium Olive. Those drop on December 2nd for $210. Unfortunately, I'd expect these to perform similar to the prior Craft pair, if anything, maybe slightly worse, meaning they would only be lunch money for local sales if you could avoid those platform seller fees, but if you're just selling on StockX, these are probably just personals only for you. Moving on, it looks like we'll be getting the Jordan 5 Olive on March 9th, 2024 for $210. Unfortunately, I would expect these to be personals only as well, and they might even go on sale, so be patient. Moving on, it looks like the Jordan 185 Metallic Red will finally be dropping on February 16th after we've been hearing rumors for these for quite a while now. Since they are an 85 cut, I would expect these to be profitable despite the $200 retail, but I'd expect a worse margin than the prior pairs that we have seen. Nonetheless, should still be a good drop to look forward to. Before moving on to some miscellaneous sneakers, we did have quite a few updates for Yeezys, including new leaks. So be sure to check out the entire dedicated video I made for them if you haven't already. I'll link it at the end of this video. Anyway, we got our first look at the SB Dunk type booth, courtesy of JF Grails. These are supposed to be dropping this fall, so not too far away. I'm expecting these to be very profitable with a great margin. We also got our first look at the Clot Dunk Low What The, which drops later this year for $120. I would expect these to be profitable with a decent to good margin, but nothing too crazy. We also got our first look at the SB Dunk Low Candy Corn, courtesy of Master Chef Ian. Unfortunately, not the best pictures, but you get the idea of what they're supposed to look like. I would expect these to be profitable as well, with a decent to good margin too, but nothing too crazy. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, you can now join Endurance with the link in the description for a limited time, and you could also purchase Gargantua with the link in the description for a limited time. We just added an auto checkout module for drop NFTs, which are frequently profitable with pretty solid margins. With that said, have a fantastic rest of your day. Good luck on all these upcoming releases.